And we are recording. Hello. This is our last day. This is day 5, where we have been working on the daily routine. A lot of people really had some great breakthroughs, and I hope you did too. If it turned out that you didn't participate, you wanted to, it's there. It's still there. Now, the best thing to do is to go to my website, thetidytutor.com, click on blog, and you know what? I can share my screen right now and show you. Okay, let me do that. All right, now I'm gonna share my screen. I'll go on to tidytutor.com. This is what you do. Go to blog, and then you'll see daily routine. See, here's the blog. So here's daily routine challenge, day 1, daily routine challenge, day 2, day 3, and day 4. And then later on today, day 5 will be published. But now look what happens. You click on this, day 4, and you'll see that there's a way for you to get to day 1, day 2, and day 3. So if you click here, it'll bring you to day 1. There you go. See? And now you go back to the other page and you go to day 2, and it'll be there for you. See that? Day 2. Okay. All right. So we concentrated on, let me stop the share for a second. Also, let me just take a look on Facebook. Dearheart said, I didn't make it this morning, didn't finish my routine in time. So baby is napping and I'm finishing now. All right. So then see now, whatever you have set up, this is where we want to revamp. This is where we want to take a look and see, how is this working? Do I need to really commit? Most of the time, that's the biggest problem, the commitment. Sometimes we just really need to commit, make a decision, and then make a commitment. Now today, what we're going to talk about, our last session, we're going to talk about having a way to track this, having a way so that it's not something that we think about, and then 2 weeks later, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I did want to do that. Or life gets in the way, because this is what happens. When we start to get really good at something, right? Things start to change, things start to get better. You probably have noticed this, if ever you've gone on a diet or something, and now your pants are starting to fit better, you're starting to look better, you're starting to feel better. And then that commitment doesn't seem so important anymore. And then you go right back into eating like crap again. If you want to get from here to there, you have to know where there is, and then know that until you get there, anything in between is not good enough. Because we have these these brain, like the synapses, I think I said that word right, where if we're doing something different, the old something is still there in our brain. There are literal pathways in our brain that when you have a habit that you have, a certain habit, like getting up at a certain time, scrolling through your phone as soon as you wake up, habits like starting the car, driving away, these are all habits. They are so ingrained in us that they're like a deer path, like a deer path in the woods. Yeah, these deer walk on this path, and now there's no grass there. It's dirt, it's well worn. That's what it's like in our brain for the habit. Now, if we do something different, we are actually making a new path. So right now it might be the woods, maybe it's like the woods. And so you walking through that, it's not that easy. It's and in your brain, you're starting it, you're doing something new, and it's really exciting for your brain. There's all these little electric things going off, and there's lots of stuff happening up there. And as you're walking through, you have that old pathway there that it's just easy, and it's like calling you, oh, come on, just walk through this way. And the reason for that is because us as people, we like to be comfortable. We like what we know. We like predictable. And if this has been working for us for a long time, we want to stay there. And so subconsciously, even though we want to do something this way, subconsciously, we want to do it the old way, because the old way was easier. We know we're protected there. We know we're safe there. Even if it's something that is not good for us, we'll still want it because our body wants survival, and it's going to think, well, look, you've been surviving like that for a long, long time. We don't want to change. So that's when you have to rise up, be a human being and not an animal, and say, no, I can change. And I'm just going to keep this up for a while. Sometimes I'll talk to myself because I know that there's another self in there. There's the comfortable self. There's the sleepy self, whatever it is, right? That self is in there trying to protect me. She's a good girl. She wants to protect me, but she's not so smart, and I have given her the reins in my life. So I want to take them back. So I'll say to her, look, I know this is what you want to do, but trust me, we're just going to try this. If we bring that other self on board, much more willing to allow you this leeway, because it's you, of course it's you, but it's the part of you that wants to protect your status quo. Because even if your status quo is not where you want to be, or even not with what's that good for you, it still will want what's comfortable. That's why they say, you get out of your comfort zone. It's uncomfortable. We don't like to be uncomfortable. So now you're making a new deer path. Now you have a routine that you're following. You're going to follow this. And this deer path, it's not easy to walk on because it's never been made before. But you do this, you walk on this path, the new path, often enough. And before you know it, you get a new groove in there. If you don't walk on the other path, what happens to that other path? It grows over. But until it grows over, it is still looming there, wanting you to snap back in. Think of it like a magnet. Here it is, ready, wanting to pull that other. Here you are, I'm doing this, but you want to be here. Here you are, but you want to be here. So in every time you compromise breeds compromise. Remember that. So every time you want to compromise, it brings you back to where you don't want to be. It's a great idea to have a partner. It's a great idea to have somebody that you can be accountable to. It's also a great idea for you to be accountable to yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How to be accountable to yourself and how to make it so that it's not one of those things that starts today and then another thing comes in that's exciting, or another thing that you want to do. You abandon this thing to go to the other thing. How often do we do that? Especially with all that we've got available on the internet today. What you're interested in, Google sends you other things about it. Different things about it. Oh, look at that. Like, say you're searching for a diet, right? And you have decided that you were going to go with keto. All right. You're going to go with keto. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing a keto diet. And so Google knows this. It knows that you want to do this. So it has an algorithm that shows you other things because maybe you might be interested in this. Well, what happens if it starts showing you the Atkins diet or some cleanse or sugar-free diet or something else? Like, they'll all come in. Weight Watchers, all of these diets, they're all good. Everything works if you work it, right? We don't like everything, so we'll maybe take a look at some things and say, well, yeah, that Atkins diet, I know people that were on it. It's just not for me. I really do need vegetables. I want vegetables. I don't want to eat mostly meat. So we decide, all right, now I'm not going to go with that. So you decide what else you're going to go with. You look into some things, you find them. In the meantime, Google is sending you all these other things. And if, we get tired of things really easily. Remember how we are, right? We like to start things. We don't like to finish them. But you've got to stay faithful to one thing long enough to see the result. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. What I want to help you avoid from happening is that distraction or that forgetting about it or that shiny object that comes around like, oh, ooh, look at that. All right, let's not do that. Let's see this through. So here, I'm going to share my screen again. This is our daily routine challenge, day 5. This here is the routine that we have set up. Now, remember, you should have been, and if you weren't, it's okay, do it now, doing this every day, and then seeing what works and what doesn't. Like Cheryl, a couple of minutes on Facebook, when in a comment, she said, I didn't quite finish everything this morning before the baby came because that was her goal. And then, so now I'm doing it while she's napping. So now when something like that happens, what you want to do is you want to say, okay, what worked and what didn't? Why didn't that happen? Do I need to wake up 30 minutes before? Or earlier, 15 minutes earlier? Do I need to shower before bed instead of in the morning? Do I need to get help? Remember, if we don't live alone, we should be delegating. You shouldn't be doing everything yourself. Are you still doing everything yourself? If you don't live alone, you should not be doing everything yourself. There might be that. Maybe there is something that you could say, what did I say already? I said, maybe I need to wake up a little bit earlier. Maybe I need to shower before bed instead of in the morning. Maybe I'm getting distracted with Facebook or with my phone. Am I going right onto my phone and then wasting 15 minutes? Who knows? You know, and that's what you want to do. Because if your day needs to start at a specific time and it's not working, if you knew that you had to be at an airport, or you had to log in at work, or you had to punch a clock and be somewhere at a certain time, you would make that happen. Now, what we want to do is we want to make that happen where it's an ease and a flow. Where we're not spilling out the front door, and where there's peace and dignity involved in the whole process. We also don't want to leave a lot of things out, so that what happens to us is that on the weekends, when we finally have the time, or any time, right? Because this isn't only for people that work during the week and then on the weekends they have free time. Because those of us who work from home, there's lots of people, I've counseled them, I've personally coached them, that they don't have an outside of the house job. They are retired now, yet their day can still get so sucked up in a whole bunch of stuff because there is no order to anything, that they don't have time to visit. And then there's people in their lives that they're like, oh gosh, I haven't seen them in so long. And that shouldn't be. We want to have our free time. That's what we want to have. And the way we do that is we take the reins in our life, we get a routine, and we stick to it. Okay. So here is our morning and evening routine that you have. It's on the blog. You can copy and paste it. You can copy it down by hand. Please remember not to make this perfect. We're not about perfect. We're about happy. Okay. So here are 2 charts that I have, and you're welcome to them. Okay. It is a star chart and a heart chart. I will send them to you if you are part of my email. Okay, that's how you'll get them. Go to thetidytutor.com, sign up for either my 10 tips or my free ebook, and then you'll be part of my email list, and I will send you the link to these charts. And you want to put what you are committed to. Now, you could print these out. I have a bunch of them printed out in my binder, and I use them for many different things. If I'm starting a diet, if I'm starting an exercise routine, if there's something that I know I need to stay faithful with and committed to. So what you want to do is you want to color in the star or the heart. And let you know what the difference between the star and the heart chart is. The star chart is, now, as you can see, it is blocked up with 10-day increments. There was a book, I wish I could remember it, but it's in this book that Miracle Morning, that's the book. It's called Miracle Morning. And in that book, he talks about how there is something to the rhythm of 10 days. Stick to something for 10 days. And after the 10th day, you have like a breakthrough where it gets easier. But then when you get to like the 3-week point, for some reason, it's almost like Wednesday, it's like hump day or something. It becomes like another level of difficulty. It's like you're working on a roller coaster. And this is very common. It's normal. We think that oh no, I can't do this. No, it's normal. It's normal when when you start something and then you go from here excited about it. I'm going to do this. This is going to be great. And then 2 days later, you go like, meow. They call that what do they call it? The depths of despair. But no, there is something. Because there's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And in Tidy Tutor Insiders, we have done a series with that. So if you are not part of my Tidy Tutor University group, you really want to be. If you've taken my course before, all you have to do is say, Kathy, I want to get into Tidy Tutor Insiders. You have to have taken Tidy Tutor University to be part of Tidy Tutor Insiders. So if you want more information on my course, please let me know. But anyway, we have that available inside of our membership. And that's what I'm telling you about right now, that it's very, very normal to start something and then be so excited about it and then get to a point where you just feel like you've crashed. If we can recognize that that's the way it goes, then instead of seeing it as, oh my God, this is so horrible, we see it as it's exactly as it should be. This is, of course, what did they say? The amount of stupidity, that's what they call it, the amount of stupidity, because you are in a place where you think you know everything. But of course you don't. If you knew everything, you wouldn't be where you are trying to get somewhere, trying to do something, trying to learn something. You don't know it yet, but we're so excited that once we get started and we discover that we don't know it or we're not good at it because we hadn't practiced, what happens? We get discouraged. So what we want to do is see that it's normal. Don't be discouraged. Just keep going. Okay, so here's the thing with the star. With the star in the 10 days, all right, you want to do as best you can to do it every day. But the difference is with the 10-day and the 7-day, because you see in the heart chart, it's 7 days. And that's because sometimes you don't want to do something every single day. Let's say it's an exercise routine. You might say, well, I'm going to exercise every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So then you would use the heart chart and you would say, I am committed to, you'd write up on there, I am committed to exercising every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and put a time on there, make an appointment to yourself. And then you see the little spot for the date, write the date in. The day you do it, you put a heart on, and you color in the heart. If you have the 3 days colored in, you did it, you kept your commitment. Let's say Friday happens and your daughter needs you to drive her somewhere, or you've got a flat tire. So you're like, oh, can't go today, but can you go tomorrow? Yes. And then will you still be on track because you wanted to do it 3 days, 3 times a week? Yes, you are still on track. What happens if you miss one of those days? You just don't color it in. That's all. You don't beat yourself up. What you want to see is you want to see the pattern. You want to see the trend. We're going to talk a little bit about how messed up we are sometimes when we think we're doing really bad, but we're not. And that this helps with that too. Now, the reason that you would use the 1 to 10, the 30-day, the 10-day star chart, is if you want to do something every day. Say you say, I am going to do my daily routine every single day this month. Then you would use the star chart. And if you did it today, you would color in the star. If you didn't do today, you would not color in it. You skip the box. See what I mean? So you would write the date on there. Say it's January 1st, January 1st. Date today, next day, January 2nd. Next day, January 3rd. Let's say January 2nd, you didn't do it. You just still write January 2nd on that box, but you just don't color it in. You just keep moving on. Okay. Now, one thing that helps with this is that you'll see if there are days that you really don't do it. Let's say you never ever do it on the third day. The third day we would assume would be a Wednesday, say, let's just pretend, okay? Then you would say, it appears every Wednesday I am not doing my daily routine. So then what must you do? You must evaluate what's different about Wednesday. And then maybe you need to make a new daily routine just for Wednesdays. Let's say you decide to do it every single day, but then you find as you're filling these out that always on the seventh and eighth day, which would be the weekend, you aren't coloring them in. So then you might say, you know what? I'm only going to do Monday to Friday. And I think what I'll need to do is a new daily routine for my weekends. I don't want to wake up at 7 a.m. on Saturday. I don't want to go to bed at 9 p.m. on a Friday night. I don't, lots of different things might be different and probably are on your weekends. So you would then realize this and say, you know what? I'm going to make a weekend daily routine. So this is my Friday and Saturday daily routine, because Sunday would be, you might wake up at, a different time, but you'll be going to bed. And if you wake up, if your commitment is to wake up Monday to Friday at a certain time, then you know that Sunday night needs to be the same as your Sunday during the week, but your Sunday morning would be different. You see that? So you'll make a different daily routine for the weekends. And when the weekends come, you'll go to that. And then what happens? Then you realize I can be faithful to my everyday. I can be faithful to my Monday to Friday daily routine. And I can be faithful to my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday daily routine. And you can keep that going on the 10-day chart. Now, if you say, you know what, I'm not even going to think about daily routine on the weekend. Or let's say you just want to say, you know what, I'm going to just be faithful to a daily routine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Say you're retired and this is just a little bit too overwhelming for you. And you say, I'm just committing to 3 days. That's it. I'm committing to 3 days. Beautiful. Commit to those 3 days. Put it in there and do it. And then whenever you feel like it, you commit to more. And that's what will happen, because you'll realize how much easier it is to live with the routine and not to live with, than it is to not live with one. Okay. So I don't know if there was something. Oh, I know. Here's the other thing that I wanted to say. I'm going to stop the share so that we could see each other. Okay. So here's the thing that I'd like to say about tracking and how important it is for this other reason. We tend to make ourselves wrong all the time, correct? Now, if you've ever done something like journal, right? Say you've journaled and you have dates in there, and then you haven't journaled for a couple of days, and then you start beating yourself up and saying, oh, I can't believe how bad I said I was going to journal every day. And look at how I've screwed up so bad. And then you get your journal out to write again. And in your face is what you've actually done. You can see you didn't do so bad. You will look back and say, wait, I've only not done 3 days. Get over it. Start now. Maybe you were faithful like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then you forgot Friday and Saturday. And then you went Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then you forgot. What happens is you'll see a pattern. And you'll also see that you're actually doing pretty good. That we often will think how bad we're doing. But if we can have something to look at, then that inner critic that we have, that critical self that's in there, who's always jabbering, right, will have some sudden realization when the easy on yourself self comes out and says, let's just take a look here. And then you look and you say, all right, maybe you didn't do so great the last few days, but look at how good you did do. Because we tend to think that, we tend to go in the negative rather than the positive. And that's just the way the world is. I mean, let's face it, weeds grow much easier than roses do. You have to tend to the roses. You could ignore the weeds and they're going to grow like crazy, right? So, so that's that. I'm going to share one thing with you right here. Give me a second. I have to get it. This is a star chart that I have. Now, the one that you saw, that one is horizontal. This one is vertical. It's the same thing. You see how it has day 1, 2, 3, and then there's just a blank space up here. It's a little bit different, same concept. I have it in a frame. So up here, I would just say daily routine or exercise plan or diet, right? And it'll be like, am I following my diet? That's my goal for this. You can have more than one of these. Just don't do more than one of something that would be a real struggle, something that you're actually doing, not something that you want to do. Like let's say, I would really love to start meditating every morning. Don't add it now. Wait until you get this going so that just the basics are followed. Then decide to do maybe a meditation one or anything else that you want to plan. And you could do another one that could say meditation, or as the ones that I'm sharing with you, it says I'm committed to. And I could share this one with you too, but that one is just one that I had to show you a visual. So the reason I have it like this is because I can use this over and over again. It's in a frame. Normally it's hanging in my kitchen, and I'll put the date right here with a Sharpie, and then I'll color it in. I'll color it in with the Sharpie. And then when I'm done, I could see what's going on. I could say, oh, look, I'm not doing it on this day and that day. Or I could just say, look at how great I'm doing. Or I could say, oh, you got to push yourself to do better next time. That's all, right? Remember, when you practice, you don't sound right all the time. When I first picked up the guitar, it was ridiculous. And that's the thing with the Dunning-Kruger thing. There's certain things that we know that this is the way it goes. Learning a language, learning an instrument. When you first get started, it sounds like crap. We don't say to ourselves, oh, I can't do this. Look at how bad it sounds. We know that's what happens. We go to the gym, we start to work out, and we don't say, oh, I can't go to the gym again. My arms hurt. We know that's the process. The process of getting something started fresh is there's always pain involved. Give that pain a different meaning. You're excited when your arms hurt, right? You leave the gym and you say, this is fabulous. I am getting some stuff done. I am definitely working out properly. My arms hurt. So instead of being like, oh, I'm so excited, and then we do like crap, we don't do really well at it. Instead of saying, oh, I'm never going to do this, say, yep, this is the way it goes. It's exactly the same thing. When I learned how to play a guitar, when I learned how to ride a bike, when I learned how to speak that language, or when I started going to the gym, same exact pattern happened. I am on the right track. Just keep going. You will not get better if you don't do it on the regular. Now, do you have to do it 24/7? No. Do you have to exercise 24/7? No, you don't. Do you have to play the guitar 24/7 or practice that language 24/7? No, you take the time aside. You do it for that amount of time, and then you live your life, right? You practice it. You walk on that deer path a certain time every day. You do this. You do what you've planned, and you will see the result. Stop making yourself wrong. And this is something that will really, really benefit you. Not only will you see what you are doing, you'll see what you're not. And it'll also keep you on track from not following that shiny object, from not going from one thing to another thing to another thing, one plan to another plan to another plan. No, stick to this because it works. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a look at comments or questions as soon as I find the Facebook page. That's what I'll do. I'm bad at giving myself something to look at, bad at documenting what I'm doing so that I can see and evaluate. Well, I think you can reword that. Instead of saying I'm bad at giving myself something to look at and bad at documenting, how about saying instead, in the past, I haven't been very good at documenting what I've been doing, but with this in my face, way to document things, I think I'll be able to do it. And something else you could do is you can put it in your daily routine. You could write in your daily routine, um, color in your star or color in your heart, depending on which one you choose to do. Okay. Brenda is here with me in Zoom. If anybody has any comments or questions, please ask them now. And I'm inviting you also to another webinar on Monday. Okay. I'd like for us to kind of wrap up and share with you some fun things that I have planned. And so if you'd like to join me, it's the same link that we used in Zoom. It's the same link. We're going to meet on Zoom, and the same one that I had before. So I'm going to send it out to you guys, and we'll meet at noon on Monday again. Okay. Okay, let's see. Deerhead said, oh, Kathy, oh gosh, why didn't I think of that? Put the star chart on my routine. Yeah, cool. Remember that I have spots open for one-on-one counseling. You could just tell me, Kathy, I'd like to know more about it. It's a beautiful opportunity to really take care of you, especially that the new year is starting. How beautiful is that? To start it out on that right foot. I'd love, love, love to let you know about it. So I'll sign out and I'll see you on Monday. I'll send you the link. I'll put the link on Facebook. I'll put the link on Facebook so that you can register to be part of our webinar that we'll have. Now, it won't be a meeting, so you don't have to worry about being seen on screen. It will be just like it is now. I am able to unmute you, so if you want to talk to me, you can type in questions, all of that. All right? All right. Okay, I guess that's that. I have a really great little series that I've done, and I'll share some of that with you for having goals, making goals, and making those goals actually become a reality. So I thought that would be a great thing to wrap this up with, and we can do that on Monday. All right. All right. So we're all good. I don't see any questions, any comments. Please, keep in touch. Let me know how you did. Okay.